Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the weekly current affairs on environment and ecology, and we will be covering the topics from 5th April to 11th April, and we are going to discuss today Mahendragiri Biosphere Reserve, ethanol blending, Clean Ganga Fund, bar-headed goose, migratory birds in Manakudi, right? So our first topic is Mahendragiri Biosphere Reserve. Why it was in the news? It was in the news because Odisha has proposed second biosphere reserve in its southern part. कहाँ पे? महेंद्रगिरी में. ठीक है. अब महेंद्रगिरी क्या है? It is an hill ecosystem जिस which has rich biodiversity, having rich biodiversity. Simple Biosphere Reserve जो है it is Odisha's first reserve and which was notified in May 20, 1996. Then let's talk about the Mahendragiri Hills. If we talk about the Mahendragiri Hills, एरिया एंड लोकेशन की बात करें अगर हम तो ये माउंटेन है, रायगढ़ सब डिवीजन में पाया जाता है. कौन से डिस्ट्रिक्ट में? गजापति डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ उड़ीसा. इट इज सिचुएटेड amongst the eastern ghats at an elevation of 1501 meters, right? फ्लोरा और फोना की बात करें. अब फ्लोरा और फोना क्या मतलब क्या है? फ्लोरा मतलब प्लांट लाइफ, फोना मतलब एनिमल लाइफ, राइट? इट इज रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एज biodiversity hotspot. Mahendragiri recognized as biodiversity hotspot. Why? Because numerous medicinal plants are there and other species are also found here, right? One more reason behind proposing the Mahendragiri Biosphere Reserve is that the hill ecosystem acts as a transitional zone between flora and fauna of southern India and the Himalayas, making the region as an ecological estuary of genetic diversities. If we talk about the inhabitation, Mahendragiri inhabited by Saura people. Who are Saura people? They are vulnerable tribal groups as well as the Kandha tribe. Saura are a Munda ethnic group from eastern India. से कहाँ से आते हैं? Eastern India के हैं. They live in Odisha. They live in Odisha, northern coastal Andhra Pradesh. ठीक है. What they speak? They speak Sora language, which is a Munda language. They speak Sora, which is a Munda language, right? लोकेशन की बात करें तो इट इज द लोकेशन ऑफ महेंद्रगिरी. ठीक है. एंड इफ वी टॉक अबाउट कि क्यों महेंद्रगिरी, वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड. वन सम मोर पॉइंट्स आर देयर बिकॉज बायोस्फीयर in Mahendragiri is urgently needed. Why needed? For conservation of landscape, ecosystem, and rare and threatened species. We have already discussed about it. Then next points we will discuss biosphere reserves. But before discussing biosphere reserves, we will discuss what is biosphere. So first point should come in our mind. What is biosphere? So biosphere क्या है? First that point should come in our mind. It is a narrow zone. What is biosphere? It is a narrow zone on the surface of the earth where soil, water, air interact to support life, right? अब अगर हम बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व्स की बात करें तो ये एक डेजिग्नेशन है. कौन देता है? यूनेस्को के द्वारा ये दिया जाता है. और किसको दिया जाता है? पार्ट्स ऑफ नेचुरल एंड कल्चरल लैंडस्केप को दिया जाता है. एक्सटेंडेड, जो कि एक्सटेंड होते हैं लार्ज एरियाज पे ऑफ टेरेस्टेरियल एंड कोस्टल मरीन इकोसिस्टम और कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ देयर ऑफ, राइट? क्यों डिजाइन किए जाते हैं? They are designed to deal with one of the most important questions of reconciling the conservation of biodiversity. To conserve the biodiversity. What was the objective? To conserve the biodiversity, right? Why UNESCO declares biosphere reserves? To conserve the biodiversity and quest for economic and social development, maintenance of associated cultural values, right? और some more who nominates them, they are nominated by national governments, remain under sovereign jurisdiction of the states where they are located, but become internationally recognized by UNESCO. फंक्शन क्या है बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व की? Their main functions are conservation and development of species of flora and fauna from dwindling in situ conservation. In situ conservation का मतलब क्या होता है कि जहां पे वो पाए जाते हैं वहीं पे उनको कंजर्व करना, राइट? ओके. If we talk about the other functions of the biosphere reserves, these are preventing biodiversity loss, prevention of sudden climate change, sustainable development, education and research, promotion of education and research. ठीक है. अगर अब नेक्स्ट पार्ट विच कम्स इज स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व. अगर हम स्ट्रक्चर की बात करें तो सबसे पहले आता है कोर जोन. क्या आता है? दिस इज कोर जोन, देन buffer zone, then let me draw it here. If we talk about this is core zone, this is buffer zone, this is transition zone. Okay, if this is our core zone, right? अगर हम core zone की बात करें तो this is legally protected area and human activities are strictly prohibited here, right? It is a legally protected area. Core zones are legally protected areas and human activities are strictly prohibited there, right? As we can see here, it is the same thing which is written here. And अगर हम buffer zone की बात करें तो buffer zone जो होते हैं as written here surrounds the core zone. It surrounds this is the buffer zone. The transition zone. It surrounds the buffer zone and activities managed in these areas to help the protection of core zone. ठीक है, ये जो भी एक्टिविटीज इसमें अलाउ की गई हैं टू हेल्प द एरियाज, हेल्प द कोर जोन, राइट? क्या होता है इसमें? इसमें लिमिटेड टूरिज्म है, फिशिंग है, ग्रेजिंग है, विच आर परमिटेड टू रिड्यूस अफेक्ट ऑन कोर जोन. ओके. Then next is transition zone. If we talk about the transition zone, it is outermost part of the biosphere reserve. It is zone of cooperation where human ventures and conservation are done in harmony. What it includes? It includes settlements, croplands, managed forest areas for intensive recreation and other economic uses characteristics of the region, right? So this was all about the biosphere reserves structure. As it is mentioned here, you can see that this is the core area where monitoring and research allow. Then this is the buffer zone where education and training, tourism and recreation, right? And research station, experimental research are recorded, right? And transition zone, we can see that human settlements are also there in transition area, right? Criteria क्या है होना चाहिए to get the designation of biosphere reserve? A site must contain an effectively protected and minimally disturbed core area, value of nature conservation. Core area should be typical of biogeographical unit, be large enough to sustain viable populations representing all tropical levels in the ecosystem. Or what is the responsibility of management authority? To ensure the involvement of cooperation of local communities to bring variety of knowledge and experiences to link the biodiversity conservation and socio-economic development while managing the containing the conflicts. Area of potential for preservation of traditional tribals, rural modes of living for harmonious use of environment, right? What are the steps taken for biosphere conservation? So UNESCO launched a biosphere reserve program, is guided by UNESCO in this context. Name is Man and Biosphere Program. India is a signatory to the landscape approach supported by MAB program. If we talk about the UNESCO MAB, Man and Biosphere Reserve Program, Man and Biosphere Program, ये एक इंटर गवर्नमेंटल साइंटिफिक प्रोग्राम है. What is it? इट इज एन इंटर गवर्नमेंटल साइंटिफिक प्रोग्राम 1971 में यूनेस्को के द्वारा लॉन्च किया गया था इसको। एम क्या है इसका? स्टेब्लिश करना एक साइंटिफिक बेसिस फॉर द इंप्रूवमेंट ऑफ रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन पीपल एंड देयर एनवायरमेंट्स। ठीक है। वन मोर स्कीम कॉल्ड बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व हैज बीन इंप्लीमेंटेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया सिंस 1986 and financial assistance is given 90:10 ratio नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजन्स के लिए एंड 3 हिमालयन स्टेट्स के लिए। ठीक। एंड 60:40 है टू अदर स्टेट्स फॉर मेंटेनेंस, इंप्रूवमेंट एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ सर्टेन items, right? So this was all about the biosphere reserve. We talked about the Mahendragiri hills, then we talked about what is biosphere, about what are biosphere reserves, structure of biosphere reserves, then core zone, buffer zone we discussed, criteria discussed. Okay, then our next topic is ethanol blending. Why it was in the news? It was in the news because India has reached first time more than 7.2% in first 4 months, right, of ethanol supply in 2021 year, right? December to November they have taken into consideration, and it is putting the country on the course to meet the target of 10%. We have set the target 10% of ethanol blending by 2022, right? So we are on the right track if we move in the same way. ओके और यहाँ तक कि इवन इंडस्ट्री सोर्सेस के अकॉर्डिंग अगर ओएमसीज अगर ऑयल एंड मार्केटिंग कंपनीज लिफ्ट एथनॉल एज दे हैड कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड फॉर द नेक्स्ट फ्यू मंथ्स, क्या होगा कि जो हमारा एथनॉल ब्लेंडिंग है वो ऑन एन एवरेज विल बी एबल टू रीच एट नियर 8% एट द टाइम ऑफ सीजन एंड्स इन नवंबर। ओएमसीज जो है शुगर मिल्स से एथनॉल उठाती हैं, तो अगर सेम वे दे हैव कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड, if all the things go according to the plan and contract, we'll be able to reach 8% at the end of the session in November, right? So far best ever ethanol blend with petrol has been around, अभी तक जो सबसे हाईएस्ट गया था वो 5.2% था और अब we can see it is 7.2%. ठीक है, we can see here 5.20% in 2018-19, then 19-20 it was decreased 4.34, and then 2021 it has increased now. Okay, कुछ states हैं they are doing amazingly well, right? They are Goa, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, Delhi, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Daman and Diu, and their 9 points they are blending ethanol 9.5% to 10% with petrol, right? This means कि by the 2022 they will be very close to the target. What is our target? To blend 10%, right? Next point which should come in our mind, that is, what is ethanol? It is an organic compound of ethyl alcohol and ये produce किया जाता है biomass से. We obtain it from biomass, and there are sources. If we talk about the sources, these are sugarcane molasses, and how we obtain it? By fermentation process. How we obtain it? By fermentation process. It can be mixed with gasoline to form a different blends. Right? And also one more feature is it is an ingredient in alcoholic beverages. It has high octane number than gasoline, hence improves the petrol octane number. अब higher the octane number से क्या होगा? It is good for engine. The lower, if there is octane number is low, it is harmful या dangerous for engine. Okay? अब हम बात करेंगे ethanol blending के बारे में. Ethanol blending is a process of mixing petrol with ethanol. Okay? What is ethanol blending? Ethanol blending, it is mixing ethanol with petrol, right? And mixture is also called ethanol fuel or gasohol, right? अब benefits की बात करें तो हम, इट इज अ कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव. क्यों? क्योंकि इट इज चीपर देन पेट्रोल. Why it is cost effective? Because it is cheaper than petrol. It helps in reducing global warming by lowering the emission of carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide, which is emitted, which is a main source of air pollution. Okay, it will minimize dependence on fossil fuels. It will contribute in the creation of employment in the country. Import reduction of fuel, it is one of the main points we can say, import reduction of fuel, because we are heavily dependent on fuel from Middle East. So we can see that recently what happened, that Saudi Arabia has increased the price, and many countries are increasing the, especially OPEC countries are increasing the price. So in at this point of time, it is the most important thing, because if our dependency will reduce, we'll be able to reduce, that will bring many benefits to us, right? It will also help farmers in supplementing their incomes. Okay, अब इसमें इसके context में what are the steps taken by the government of India? They introduced ethanol blended petrol program, जिसका एम क्या था कि एथेनॉल को पेट्रोल से ब्लेंड करना और ब्रिंग इट अंडर द कैटेगरी ऑफ बायोफ्यूल्स, सेविंग मिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स बाय कटिंग फ्यूल इंपोर्ट्स. अंडर दिस प्रोग्राम क्या होगा कि अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ एथेनॉल विल इंक्रीज ड्यू टू हायर price for sea heavy molasses. What are the sea heavy molasses? Sea heavy molasses means no sugar content left in it. Okay, based ethanol, enabling procurement of ethanol from B heavy molasses. अब B heavy molasses क्या होते हैं? Have some sucrose content left in them for sugar production. Okay. And then we introduced national biofuel policy. It categorizes biofuel as basic biofuels in first generation, second generation, third generation. What is the feature if we talk about the national biofuel policy of 2018? It expands the scope of raw material for ethanol production, and by allowing the sugarcane juice, sugar containing material like sugar beet, sweet sorghum, unfit for human consumption for ethanol production. It also allows the use of surplus food grains for production of ethanol for blending with petrol with the approval of National Biofuel Coordination Committee. Then India also notified E20 fuel, and the use of E20 blend 20% ethanol and 80% petrol for as a fuel for compatible vehicle. Ministry of Road and Transport Highways notified the use of E20, issued mass emission standard for the same. Okay, these are the things what includes in first generation biofuels. Then second में ये चीजें include होती हैं, then third में ये चीजें, and fourth में ये सारी चीजें, right? You can go through it. Then our next topic is Clean Ganga Fund. Why it was in the news? It was in the news because government recently received around 1.18 crore for rejuvenation of river Ganga in 2021. ओके, अगर हम क्लीन गंगा फंड की बात करें तो ये 2014 में लाया गया था, फॉर्म किया गया था. किसके लिए? गंगा के लिए, एज नेम सजेस्ट. और किस लिए? टू सेट अप वेस्ट ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट्स एंड कंजर्वेशन ऑफ बायोटिक डाइवर्सिटी ऑफ द रिवर. ठीक है, ये एज ए इनिशिएटिव इसको लॉन्च किया था, लाया गया था, सो दैट इट कैन ब्रिंग सम एंथुजियाज्म इन पीपल फॉर गंगा, जिससे कि उनको एक गंगा के मतलब इट विल ब्रिंग देम क्लोजर टू गंगा, and it will inculcate some sense of ownership, because when they feel that it's our river, so they'll be more concerned about its cleanness, and they'll stop doing whatever they are doing, like they are throwing when they go to puja or when they take bath in the river. Whatever they throw in it, when they have some kind of feeling for it, they'll stop doing it. So this was the purpose, so that can be reduced. Okay, and it is a source of fund किससे, प्राइवेट कंपनी से, इंडिविजुअल से और इंस्टीट्यूशन से. ओके, और जो इसका फंड है वो यूटिलाइज किया जाएगा कंजर्वेशन ऑफ, वी हैव ऑलरेडी टॉक्ड, ठीक है, पब्लिक एमिनिटीज भी डेवलप की जाएंगी सेम फंड को यूज करते हुए, सच एज घाट रीडेवलपमेंट, रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट भी इसका पार्ट रहेगा. ओके, और फीचर्स की अगर हम बात करें तो ये डोमेस्टिक एज वेल एज इंटरनेशनल सबके लिए ओपन है, और इसमें जो डोमेस्टिक डोनर्स होंगे वो दे शैल बी एलिजिबल फॉर टैक्स बेनिफिट्स ऑल्सो. ओके, एंड फॉरेन जो फॉरेन डोनर्स होंगे they could get suitable tax exemptions in domestic law wherever permissible, right? Okay, अब before discussing the Namami Gange program, let's see what are other initiatives by government of India to conserve river Ganga. अब इन 1986 में एक आया था इनिशिएटिव गंगा एक्शन प्लान, ये 1986 में आया था. ओके, और पॉल्यूशन अबेटमेंट इसका एक मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव था. ओके, देन उसके बाद गंगा एक्शन प्लान आया 2009 में. आफ्टर सक्सेस, मतलब आफ्टर रिव्यूइंग द इफेक्टिवनेस ऑफ द गंगा एक्शन प्लान, गवर्नमेंट ने अनाउंस किया था मिशन क्लीन गंगा. कब किया था? 2009 में. ठीक है, फिर उसके बाद गंगा नेशनल गंगा गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया था कि और इनिशिएटिव लेके आई थी, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल नेशनल गंगा रिवर बेसिन अथॉरिटी लेके आई थी विच इज चेयर्ड बाय द प्राइम मिनिस्टर. ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या था इसका? अबेटमेंट ऑफ पोल्यूशन, कंजर्वेशन ऑफ रिवर गंगा बाय अडॉप्टिंग अ रिवर बेसिन अप्रोच फॉर कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव एंड प्लानिंग एंड मैनेजमेंट. ओके, देन उसके बाद एक ऐप भी थी भुवन गंगा वेब ऐप, इट इंश्योर्स इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ पब्लिक. उसके बाद नया इनिशिएटिव क्या था हमारा? भुवन गंगा वेब ऐप भी आई थी. ठीक है, उसके बाद इन 2017 नेशनल ग्रीन ट्रिब्यूनल बैंड डिस्पोजल ऑफ एनी वेस्ट इन गंगा. 2017 में एनजीटी ने बैन कर दिया था डिस्पोजल ऑफ एनी वेस्ट इन गंगा. ओके, these were the missions and steps taken by the government to conserve the river Ganga. Okay, then let's talk about the Namami Gange program. ये एक umbrella program है that integrates previous and currently ongoing initiatives. जो भी अभी तक initiatives थे उनको ये integrate करता है. इसलिए we have discussed the steps because all the steps are being converged and were converged in this Namami Gange program. कैसे? By enhancing efficiency, extracting synergies and supplementing them with more comprehensive and better coordinated inventions. कौन implement कर रहा है इनको? नेशनल मिशन ऑफ फॉर क्लीन गंगा इसको इंप्लीमेंट कर रहा है, और स्टेट प्रोग्राम मैनेजमेंट ग्रुप्स इन द स्टेट्स. ठीक है, अब जो नेशनल मिशन फॉर क्लीन गंगा है, NMCG वी कैन कॉल इट इन शॉर्ट, ये एक इम्प्लीमेंटेशन विंग है किसका? नेशनल गंगा काउंसिल का, जो कि 2016 में हुआ था, और इट हैज रिप्लेस्ड नेशनल गंगा रिवर बेसिन अथॉरिटी. ठीक है, और ये किसके अंदर काम करता है? इट वर्क्स अंडर द डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ वाटर रिसोर्सेस, रिवर डेवलपमेंट, गंगा रिजर्वेनेशन, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ जल शक्ति. मेन पिलर्स क्या है इसके? सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, इंडस्ट्रियल एफ्लुएंट मॉनिटरिंग है, रिवर फ्रंट डेवलपमेंट है लाइक घाट्स एटसेट्रा, रिवर सरफेस क्लीनिंग है, बायोडाइवर्सिटी एंड अफोरेस्टेशन है, पब्लिक अवेयरनेस है. ठीक, सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट द क्लीन गंगा फंड. द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज bar headed goose, right? Why it was in the news? It was in the news because an IT professional from Chennai studies the species at Hadinoru. Why it was in the news? An IT professional from Chennai studied the species at Hadi Naru freshwater lake. वहां पे एक आईटी प्रोफेशनल ने स्टडी किया था इनको. कहाँ पे है ये हदीनरू फ्रेश वाटर लेक? इट इज इन इट इज नियर टू मैसूरू. मैसूरू इन कर्नाटका. इट इज इन कर्नाटका. ठीक है. इट इज फैक्चुअल डाटा. राइट. इसका साइंटिफिक नेम क्या है? आंसर इंडिकस. आयुसियन का स्टेटस क्या है इसका? लीस्ट कंसर्न में है ये. और इसको बट डिफरेंशिएटेड फ्रॉम अदर गीस, black bars on its head. We can see we have a picture that's differentiated from other species of other geese, right? Habitat कहाँ पाया जाता है? चाइना और मंगोलिया में पाया जाता है. सेंट्रल चाइना और मंगोलिया में पाया जाता है. दे ब्रीड देयर और दे स्टार्ट माइग्रेशन टू द इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट ड्यूरिंग द विंटर्स and stay there till the end of the session. They come to India, return to their homes by crossing Himalayan ranges. अब इनकी if we talk about the characteristics of the bar-headed goose, they can fly even at very high altitude. ठीक है. And the capacity of bar-headed goose to transport and consume oxygen at rates is hypoxia. Distinguishes this species from similar lowland waterfowl. अब hypoxia क्या होता है? When the oxygen when the body does not get adequate supply of oxygen, or a place in or a organ of the body does not get adequate supply of oxygen, that is hypoxia, right? अब what is the reason behind it? What is the reason? क्योंकि they have high myoglobin concentration. They have a high myoglobin concentration at the onset of migration. Also slightly modified hemoglobin structure, which increases the oxygen binding capacity in them as compared to other migratory birds. This helps them withstand the lower supply of oxygen. Okay. Then our last topic is migratory birds in Manakudi. Recently, two tagged migratory birds, redshank and whiskered tern, have been spotted in the salt pans of Swami Thopu in Manakudi Bird Reserve, where it is located in Kanyakumari, Tamil Nadu district. Okay, in Kanyakumari district of Tamil Nadu, right? Reserve provide them with. क्यों आए वो यहाँ पे माइग्रेटरी बर्ड्स? क्यों आए यहाँ पे? क्योंकि जो रिजर्व है हमारा मनाकुड़ी बर्ड रिजर्व, इट प्रोवाइड्स देम विद एडुकेट सप्लाई ऑफ फ्रेश वाटर, फिश, fauna, crustaceans, barsinalis, freshwater weeds, also shield from sound pollution. अब if we talk about the whiskered tern, ये फर्स्ट टाइम ऐसा हुआ है कि मार्क आउटसाइड द कंट्री. इट इज रिपोर्टेड फ्रॉम इंडिया एंड इट possibly they are possibly from European countries से. ठीक है. These are the terns that breed in India, but those birds don't go to the reserve, right? Redshank की अगर हम बात करें तो there are 5 subspecies of redshank. There are 5 subspecies of redshank. They migrate from Himalayas. They migrate from Himalayas, China, Mongolia, and Russia. Far East. Redshank spotted is possibly from subarctic region. Why it has been tagged, we can call it, because tagging से क्या होता है कि it helps ornithologists and scientists study the distance that birds travel, areas they visit, the number of days they take to reach the wintering spots, food availability, water quality, climatic factors, habitat areas, challenges they face, and human intervention in the wintering spots. So this was all about the migratory birds in Manakudi. We hope you enjoyed the lecture. Thank you so much.